Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am your host, Saskia, aka Sassy Colouring, and I'm here today with a video about what we did in January, what to look forward to in February, and all the stuff in between. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, come and join me, and let's get into it. Through the video, I'm going to be drawing a colouring page on my iPad so you can see the kind of process that I go through. A lot of people have asked me about how I draw a colouring page, so you can see firsthand how I do it. There may be a lot of mechanical noises going on in the background, machinery, etc, etc. Even though we're in full lockdown here in Ireland, level 5 essential construction is allowed, and we live across the road from a school and they're building on a huge section of a school, so they're going from 7 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock in the night most days, so we have to deal with the noise and not get too hung up on it. So as I said, we've been in level 5 lockdown since just after Christmas holidays. They've extended it. We were supposed to come out on Monday the 1st of February, but they've extended it to the 5th of March. We have the children home and they're being homeschooled. We have, my husband is at home. He's out of work because although construction is back, it's only essential construction at the moment. And so we have our family unit in our little bubble once again. This lockdown has definitely brought new challenges along with new joys. There have been some highs and lows again, and I expect that the next month will also have a roller coaster effect on us all. Some days we're all super happy, other days we're down in the dumps. We just want to get on a plane and go and visit our family. But the best thing to do is just sit tight for a bit longer, all try really hard to social distance and keep away from other people and whatever, and hopefully in a few months it'll have died down enough with the vaccine, etc., that life can start returning to some kind of normality. If not, we'll also deal with that, right? One of the perks to this whole coronavirus mess is that we found new ways to get in touch with people. i.e. I'd never used Zoom before, and the last year we've gotten really familiar with it. And through the month of January, I had the immense privilege of Zoom chatting with Colleen Diamond. If you haven't seen that video, you should go and watch it. The woman is an absolute sweetheart, and it was so lovely talking to her. I have another wonderful colourist lined up for you for the month of February with a Let's Meet. And I can't wait to film that and then get that uploaded for you guys, because this again is going to be a really nice one. A person who has supported me from way back when I started, always has such amazing work to post, always comes across as a really genuinely lovely person, so I cannot wait to meet them in person via Zoom. So let's talk about Patreon. What happened there in January? There was a very slight overhaul of the tiers. There was a few things changed around and swapped around, hopefully to make the tiers better. The offer to have your annual membership with 16% off, 16% is the maximum the Patreon allows you to offer, that is running for one more week. So if you would like to be a Patreon member and you're thinking that maybe you should buy annually instead of doing it monthly, you have one more week where there'll be 16% off, and then it'll drop back down to the normal 10%. There are also new ways to spend your Sassy points that you accumulate each month. My Patreon members are super patient because I have one or two things that I'm trying to get into place to add to that list, that you can get different things. I don't want to say too much because I want it to be a surprise when I finally announce it on Patreon. But due to the fact that there was Brexit was one issue, and then full lockdown in both the UK and Ireland, things are going a bit squiffy. So I want to get them in place and then release the list that was about six items long before. You could get PDFs of collections or colouring books or custom pages or A3 custom pages. And I've revamped that now to add quite a few more different things, and hopefully it'll be even more interesting, that as you're building your points, you've got something that you really want to look forward to. Okay, so let's move on to the Sassy Colouring group. So anybody who's a member of the colouring group knows that it's quite a laid back group. There isn't a structure of, like, a lot of groups will have like weekly events like the Work in Progress Wednesday and this and this and this. I do want to change that a little bit, and I've said this before, I want it to be a bit more interactive. I have an outstanding admin team watching and helping and everything, but they're so busy because they have these other amazing groups that I think I need to put in a bit more work and a bit more effort to get that group working just a little bit more, not smoothly, because it runs very smoothly because of those fabulous ladies that do it for me, but a bit more interactive, which needs a bit more effort from myself. That leads me on nicely to what I intend to do in the colouring group for the month of February. So a couple of you will know that in January there was a poll put up, and I asked, what would you prefer? Would you prefer a colouring book, a colouring competition to win something, a money off Etsy voucher, or a free colouring page for everybody to have? The results ended up being quite even. A lot of people said that they'd like the free colouring page. A lot of people said that they would enjoy a colouring competition, or a chance to win a book, or even just the money off voucher would be interesting to them. So, your wish is my command. For the month of February, I have a free page. The free page will then be used as a colouring competition entry. So if you colour the free page, you'll be entered into a colouring competition. The colouring competition prize will be a free book. Also, throughout the whole month of February, there will be a 20% off voucher for Etsy. Speaking of Etsy, there has been a lot of price reductions, permanent price reductions across the older items in the store. So if you haven't been on in a while, just go and have a look and see what you think. What else? Oh yeah, for those of you who enjoy the 30-day colouring challenges, I have one done for February, so it's actually a 28-day colouring challenge, but there is one new one will be available for you on the challenge group, also in the colouring group, and also on Patreon. If you're subscribed there, you will have that already. If you're not subscribed, all you have to do is follow me on Patreon, and you'll see all my public posts, and you would have had it yesterday or maybe the day before. You'd have had it before anybody else anyway, because Patreon is where I put up all the free pages first. If you want to have a sneak peek of what Patreon has to offer through the month of February, then Instagram is the best place to be. I used to post them a lot on Pinterest, but since the dynamic of Pinterest has changed, and the way that you look at things and the way that you post things, I haven't really got up to speed with it, and I don't really like it so far. So if you want to see the pages that are coming out on Patreon in February, then head over to Instagram, have a look there, and you'll see all the pages that are coming out. I say all, you see most of the pages. Sometimes there are extras throughout the month, but most of them will go to Instagram for you to see. As far as videos go for February, if you saw my video on the Monarch colouring pencils, then you know that there was we were waiting to do a part 2. I have the pencils, I've filmed the video, so part 2 is done. That will be posted maybe next Saturday. I also have a video for you on the different types of pencil sharpeners. Now, to anybody outside the colouring community, I bet that sounds like the most boring video that would ever be made. Which is the best pencil sharpener? But we all know as colourists, no matter whether you're a hobbyist or you're an artist, you know that that pencil sharpener is the be-all and end-all of your pencils. It's the difference between sharp points and dull points. breaking your pencils and not breaking your pencils. So if you're interested to find out which sharpener I like out of all the ones that I've tested, then keep an eye out for that video. As I said, there's another Sassy Spotlight where we meet another one of my colorists. Cannot wait for that one, to show you that one, but I'm not going to tell you who it is yet. I will keep you in suspense for just a little bit longer. Then I have one or two unboxings. I've got the Paper Gang and the Scroller box. My Paper Gang box is here, and oh boy, do I love this one. You'll have to watch the video to find out what's in it though. I'm waiting for the Scroller box to arrive. Super excited for that one because I loved the last one. So that's it as far as videos, I think, but I am hoping to come up with a few ideas to do a few more for you. I think that's about it as far as our catch-up goes. January, it was a good month. February, let's make it a great month. I do want to let you in on not so much a secret, but an amazing article that I have found on pandemic fatigue. It's not a medical problem, but it is a real thing. A lot of us are feeling really run down by the pandemic, and the first lockdowns were hard and whatever, but it just seems that they get harder each time because there seems no end in sight. In the description there will be a link to an article on how to beat pandemic fatigue. Now, full disclaimer, you all know I'm a Christian. This is full of Bible-based principles, so if you're not religious, don't be offended. I found it super informative whether you're religious or not. If you are religious, you really enjoy the scriptures that are in there to give you that extra boost. If you're not religious, have a read of it because it is really interesting. Okay, so the image that you've been watching me draw, as you can see, the small white piece of paper at the side was an envelope that I'd scribbled this on, I think while I was waiting in the car for something. I seem to remember my daughter had an appointment at the opticians or something in January, and I'd had to take her down, and obviously we couldn't both go in. So I was in the car, got a bit bored, scribbled on the envelope. So decided to try and turn it into a colouring page. As always, I prefer the original sketch to what I drew after. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I'll draw an image and really like it, and then when I try to recreate it, not even a slight chance. But as a standalone page, I've decided to call it the Be Mine because they're full of bees and the heart. The Be Mine Bear is quite a cute page. It's also the page that I decided to use in the colouring competition for February. So you've watched me draw it, now you can colour it. The collaboration continues. I draw, you colour. Let's see what we come up with together. I am also going to try and do a colour along, add some colour palettes for you for some inspiration. And as always, I'm sure if you have a look at everybody else's work, you'll just be inspired beyond belief. So even if you are in full crazy lockdown for the whole month of February, like we're supposed to be here in Ireland, I'm going to keep you so busy you won't know your head from your toes. I'm going to shut up and let you enjoy the rest of the drawing process, and I'll come back at you in a minute when you watch the draw through on the iPad. One of the things that I like to do is when I finish a page is go back to the time-lapse video and watch it all the way through. I really like to see how sometimes I chop and change my ideas, and even in some of them the page that I start off with is nothing like what I finish with. But it's a really nice way to watch yourself, see things that you may have done different, as well as being fun to watch. It's a good learning tool, I think. Procreate has got some really cool features like this. It's definitely been a learning curve learning to use a tablet to draw on rather than pen and pencil, but I do love how my art style is changing continuously, and have also realised that when I draw on pen and paper now, I double tap it to erase things and try to zoom my paper in and out, which is ridiculous. It also has this really cool feature where you can go and have a look at the statistics of your page. You can go into the property of the page and see the different analytics, like the fact that it took 1,144 strokes to draw this page. It took me 1 hour and 1 minute to complete the page, which is quite a short amount of time compared to some of the pages that I've done. But I always find it really interesting to go in and have a look at it. Okay, well that's it from me. I will get back to you with some more videos and another one of these what did I do next month. Until then, I want you all to stay safe, keep colouring, and as always, stay sassy.